Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yemini, and each week we'll look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of Rebbetzin Chaya Mushka, the wife of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. The Rebetzin's Yahrtzeit, the anniversary of her passing, is on the 22nd of Shevet, which is this upcoming Monday. Along with being the daughter of the previous Chabad Rebbe, she was a partner in any campaign or action the Rebbe undertook. In her merit, may we experience the ultimate redemption in the coming of Moshiach. This week's Parsha Perspective is also in honor of the birthdays of Yoram and Yael Cohen. May Hashem bless them and their family with much health, happiness, and success. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of Refuah Shlema, the complete and speedy recovery of HaRav Amitai ben Shoshanna, Shaul ben Berta, and Lior Gabay ben Michal. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of the memory of Leah Mintche Yosef, Edward Ben Efraim, Shlomo Ben Edward, and Yirachmiel Daniel Ben Gedalia. May the souls be uplifted and may the memories be a blessing. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Yisro for all of time. Our Parsha has the Aseret Dibros, the 10 Commandments, making it one of the most significant Torah portions. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God Himself, came to the mountain and gave us the 10 Commandments and confirmed that we are His chosen nation. Just 6 weeks after leaving Egypt, the Jewish nation arrived at the foot of Har Sinai of Mount Sinai. Moshe Rabbeinu instructed them to purify themselves for 3 days in preparation for the giving of the Torah from Matan Torah. They could not approach or touch the mountain, for it is holy and pure, and only Moshe, Aaron, and a select few others were allowed to be on the mountain. On the morning of the 3rd day, a shofar's piercing sound grew louder as smoke, thunder, and lightning covered the mountaintop. God descended upon Har Sinai as the terrified and frightened Jewish people gathered around its base. God then said the Aseret Dibros, the 10 Commandments, to the frightened and trembling Jewish people. So overwhelmed, they turned to Moshe and begged him to act as an intermediary, for God and His holy and divine words were more than they could physically handle. Moshe Rabbeinu agreed, but responded to the Jewish people, "Don't fear God, for He has shown you Himself so that you fear Him and not sin." However, a question comes to mind. The first pasuk of chapter 20 of Perek Chaf prepares us for the 10 Commandments for the Aseret Dibros. The pasuk begins, "Vaydaber Elokim eitz kol hadvarim ha'ila lemor," and God spoke all these words, saying. The word lemor is usually translated as saying, and it was an indicator to Moshe Rabbeinu that he's allowed to repeat what God is telling him to the rest of the nation. But here, it is God Himself who is speaking to the Jewish people. Why lemor? What does it add to the introduction of the Aseret Dibros, the 10 Commandments? Rashi, Rav Shlomo Yitzchaki, the leading Torah commentary, gives a very powerful answer. He quotes the Michal, a medrash written by the great and holy Rabbi Yishmael, that the word lemor, saying, indicates that God said the 10 Commandments in one utterance, meaning that God spoke once, but said all of the Aseret Dibros, said all of the 10 Commandments simultaneously. Although humanly impossible, the Mechilta explains that even God's physical expression, there was an element of His divinity. As we sing and pray during the Licha Dodi prayer on Friday nights, Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, observe and remember the Shabbos, 2 words in one. The Rambam, Rav Moshe ben Maimon, explains in the Guide to the Perplexed, the Mor Nevuchim, that this is a one-time phenomenon where the limits of sound were expanded. God's holy and sacred words were actually understood and absorbed by the physical Jewish people. However, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rav Menachem Lushnerson, gives a deeper and more profound explanation. He answers that lemor does not only mean that God said all the 10 Commandments in one utterance, but also that the Torah and mitzvahs are given anew each and every day. Every day, a new element of Torah is revealed to combat the challenges unique to our times. The words that God spoke at Har Sinai and Mount Sinai are still echoing and reverberating till this very day. Their sound continues to interfere with human nature, challenging us to develop and advance the relationship between Creator and creation. In the previous chapter, Rashi quotes the Michal again, that we must discover and learn the Torah anew each and every day as if we would have received it that morning. As if we were the ones who actually heard God's words and saw his voice proclaim that we are his nation. Because in fact, we are. The holy and divine soul within us stood united at Har Sinai, at Mount Sinai, and accepted the challenge set forth and placed by God. In a world filled with darkness, be the light. In our daily life, it is imperative that we stand firm as the integrity of our society continues to worsen and deteriorate. We must be strong as the people around us combat the very notion of God and his sovereignty over this universe. By studying the Torah and following the mitzvahs, we unlock the soul's memory of its intimacy with God and the physical path leading back to it. There is a powerful essay by Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs about the Torah. The Torah is God's law and teaching, and is not a code written by a distant king to be imposed by force. Nor it is an esoteric mystery understood by only the scholarly elite. It is available and intelligible to all and everyone. God was to become the teacher, Israel his students, the Torah the text that bound them one to another. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.